Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan here, alongside Joel below me,
Hello.
Michigan Storm Chasers, giving you a briefing. Yes, a severe weather briefing for the first time in what seems like almost a month, I believe it is. So let's go ahead and dive right in here. I want to first start with an audio check. Let me know in chat if you guys can hear me okay. And we'll go ahead and get started once we have the okay on that. Let us know where you're watching from here. That'd be a good start. Sleepy says all good on audio. Perfect. What's up, Kim? Got Julie, Summer, Karen, can hear. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and dive right into this then. All right, so let's go ahead and start with what we have coming. The main headlines: wind, rain, and perhaps some stronger storms for portions of the state. So let's go ahead and talk about what's happening. We have a low pressure system that will develop over the Missouri, Oklahoma area. That's going to track up our direction and strengthen as it does so. As it strengthens, it's going to pull up a lot of moisture with it from the Gulf. As it also strengthens, it will enhance wind shear with this system. So the overlap of wind shear and some moisture, if we add in some instability with there, we could have a recipe for some gusty storms. So that is the synopsis of what we're expecting. Let's go ahead and talk about the timing and the expectations with this system. So the latest high resolution model here, short-term model, giving us hour by hour forecast. We have some rain showers out there tonight. In fact, if we take a peek at the current radar, it's kind of scattered throughout the state here. Perhaps northern lower Michigan with some showers, the thumb region. They're ongoing right now, but those aren't too heavy. They're not going to be a huge concern throughout the evening. We could get a couple sprinkles in spots, so not going to be a huge deal. But as we move back into the overnight hours, that could increase in some coverage there for the UP, especially as we move towards Saturday morning. Models indicate that we're going to have some showers, perhaps rumble of thunder around for your Saturday morning time frame. So as we push this to 7 a.m. here is 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and as we push toward that noon time frame, that's when we're going to start really keying in toward that strong, perhaps gusty, severe wind threat. So here's 10, 11, and by about that noon time frame, there's going to be some storms popping up here. Those are the ones to watch. Do not expect these in the morning to be, that worrisome, but we'll have to watch those regardless because there's a lot of wind shear here with this system. So going to go into the afternoon here, we're going to see the increase of coverage of those mini cells, we're going to call them. And notice how it's kind of in a line. That's going to be what we're going to watch here, a couple of lines. As these storms form into lines with this type of system, that's what's going to cause some gusty winds. So this is 3 p.m. Here is 4 p.m. That starts to increase in coverage and some of these intensities as well. Here is 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And by about that 9 p.m. time frame, most of those individual cells have pushed off into Ontario. But then overnight into early Sunday morning, a big old blob of rain, perhaps some heavier thunderstorms as well, push in to the southern part of the state. So a bit of a break there late evening after an afternoon of scattered showers and storms, and then heavier rain moves in overnight into early Sunday morning. Those will contain perhaps some gusty winds with them, but primarily heavy rain and perhaps some lightning with it as well. As we push this into Sunday morning, some models try to slow down the progression of this, and some actually do show a secondary, we're going to say like a mini low top squall line developing in the eastern half of Michigan. We'll have to see if that plays out. If that does play out, we could see a secondary round of some gusty winds, but right now confidence in that secondary threat Sunday morning is quite low at this time. But the main headline, if you're noticing here, it's just a bunch of rain overnight. And that's a big story here. Models are indicating a wide swath of much needed rainfall here, 1 to as much as 3 inches in spots, localized 3 inches, should I say, in spots here, a good soaking rain for the state. But also with this system on the backside, especially as the system moves out on Sunday, those winds will start on Saturday to the southwest to the northeast, pretty gusty, 20, 25 miles per hour, gust to 30. But then Sunday comes around, the system moves out, those winds turn from the southwest to the northwest. It also brings in cooler air. So we're going to see gusts on Sunday afternoon as high as 40 to 45 miles per hour across the state. If I visualize this on a map for you guys to kind of see the winds here, there's your wind gust map on Sunday at 2 p.m. These are in miles per hour as well. We have a wide swath here of 40, 45 or so across West Michigan. That will slowly work its way to the eastern half of the state as the afternoon pushes on there. And also take note, we have some higher wind gusts over the lakes, causing waves as high as 16 feet, according to some forecast models on some of our lakes here. So it's going to be very gusty. So putting it all together, what does our forecast call for? What are we talking about with hazards and stuff like that? So let's go ahead and start with our severe weather outlook. This is our in-house graphic here that we make. It is not affiliated with any government or local news agency. This is our own independent forecast here made by Joel, who's below me. If you'll notice here, we do have a severe risk in place tomorrow afternoon, especially into the evening hours. But this could be valid from 7 a.m. Saturday to 7 a.m. Sunday to account for those earlier showers and even later showers that may or may not develop into a stronger gust or two. But the main time frame we're keying in on, especially, is Saturday afternoon and evening for the height of this risk. So we have a limited risk for severe weather from Niles through Kalamazoo, about through Lansing, up through the Thumb region, Sandusky-ish area through Port Huron into Ontario. Further south toward the 94 corridor, that is a low risk, level 2 out of a scale of 6 on our scale. That is going to be our main concern here for higher coverage and perhaps a few more scattered severe wind gusts. Now, in terms of hazards, I just went ahead and said the main one, severe wind gust is your primary hazard. But overall, there is a risk for a couple spin-up tornadoes with the system as well. It's a lot of wind shear there, and that wind shear does turn just a bit with height. So there's enough spin there that warrants attention that we could see a couple tornadoes that are embedded within a squall line similar to that of what we saw earlier this year with, I think, May 15th was the date and March 30th. It probably won't be a huge on that scale of event, but similar to that setup, we had embedded rotation within that line. This could produce something similar. But the key here is that we need a lot of instability for that to happen. That's the uncertain part. If we don't get that instability, it'll primarily just be a gusty wind threat with the storms. But if we have a little bit more storm fuel to work with, that could cause some rotation within this line, especially during the afternoon hours on Saturday. Now, last but not least, there is a very low risk for some hail, primarily for the south and east corner of the state here, Crockett-Jackson, Adrian, Detroit area, back down through Northwest Ohio into Indiana. But that risk is quite low in nature. I don't expect hail to be that high of a concern, if at all. Okay? That's your three main risks. On top of that, the trash can window meter, as we call it, is back after a long summer off. We had a pretty quiet summer wind-wise. We had a very gusty spring, a very quiet summer, and then we're coming right back in these fall-like low pressure systems, a lot of wind to work with. So gust throughout Saturday, like I said before, 25-ish miles per hour up to 30 or so. Sunday afternoon is when they really start ramping up. That could produce wind gusts as high as 40 to 45. It will take your trash can, it will move it down into your neighbor's yard and perhaps down the road a ways in some localized instances. So do take note of that. I do not have the wind forecast. I thought I did, but I don't. I don't have a wind forecast pulled up, but it's pretty much the entire state's blanketed up to 45 mile per hour gusts throughout that, especially Sunday afternoon time frame. So that's easily to visualize. Just think of the entire state under 45 up to 45 mile an hour gust, especially into that Sunday time frame. You may also notice the SPC outlook. This is the official severe weather forecast issued by the official meteorologist out of Norman, Oklahoma. There's no severe risk currently in Michigan. We feel that the overlap of all the ingredients coming together warrants concern, hence why we opted to issue our own. We always issue our own forecast here, and hence why you see a severe risk from us, just because we have ingredients overlapping. And just because you guys love to dive into stuff, here's our wind shear throughout the Saturday time frame. It's very pronounced. We have a lot of shear here. The reds and the oranges indicate that's a higher amount of wind shear here. It's a very wind shear packed system. That's one ingredient, but also the storm fuel here. We have 500, 700. Some models are talking 1,000 joules of CAPE, as we call it. And that's roughly what we need with this system to be warranting some concern here. 500 is about the threshold. Anything above 500 is kind of like, we probably should pay attention to this a little bit more. So we're at that threshold here with the moisture, with the instability, with the wind shear to warrant the concern for some strong or severe weather. The caveat and the only fail mode that I see with this system, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's messy. There's a lot of rain with this. There's a lot of moisture. It could get really messy really fast. That could limit our storm fuel down. So, with that said, that is the overall consensus. Your weekend, that is what we're looking for in terms of the next 48 hours here in the state of Michigan. Joel, did I miss anything?
No, you hit it pretty much right on the head. Again, with this setup, the instability is going to be the lowest thing. We talk about our ingredients of severe weather being slim, so shear, lift, instability, moisture. Shear being our spin, lift being our forcing mechanism, instability, that storm fuel is as you have on the screen there, Ryan, and then moisture, of course, being like our dew points, which you could also display as well. Dew points tomorrow are going to be in the mid 60s in some spots, so no shortage of moisture, but the instability will be lower, as you mentioned, below 1,000 joules per kilogram. However, there's been many times so far this year and of course last year where we've had these setups, come to fruition even with 750 joules of CAPE and in the helicity department. So that goes with that S for shear. And I'm not sure if that's pulled up as well, but you could also see there's some pockets of 200 SRH on there, which again, we're looking for numbers in SRH, our shear, to be over 100. So the fact that it's twice as much there, again, there could be some sneakiness, but it's not a slam dunk by any means.
Yeah, we always talk about the storm fuel being, 2, 3,000 in summertime. With these fall systems, there's a lot of dynamics in play, a lot of wind shear, a lot of certain things going for systems. It doesn't always take that 2,000 joules of CAPE to get stuff going. Fall and early spring systems can easily work with 500 joules of CAPE. So it's why we're warranting some attention with this system. So, but yeah, that's the overall consensus, guys. Feel free to have some questions here in chat. We'll go ahead and bring it back here to our forecast. Let's go ahead and scroll up some chats here. Let's see who we got. We got Drew in here. We got Megan, Christopher, Brittany, Julie, Christina, Tommy, Jamie, Lori. What's up, guys?
And that map that Ryan has up right now of our in-house severe weather outlook, that is the main map of all three hazards.
Yep.
So when we show you the severe weather outlook, it takes into account the hail, the wind, and the tornadoes. So if say you are in Jackson or Adrian down there in that green zone, that level 2 zone, that means that at least one of those three hazards, hail, wind, tornadoes, is level 2 in nature. So if you flip through the hazards, you'll look and see, and you'll see, oh, hail's a level 1, so it's not for hail. You go to damaging winds and tornadoes, aha, there's your level 2. So that's just a nice little rule of thumb for those who are new here and might not understand the four graphic look of things. That is exactly what we do, and it's also the same thing as what the Storm Prediction Center does with their forecasts. It's whatever even if you just have one hazard, it'll always put the marginal risk for just that one hazard.
Yep. And also referencing the SPC, their risk for severe weather is literally probably less than 10 miles from the Michigan border. So it's close to us, but doesn't currently include us. I would not be shocked, Joel, if they were to increase Michigan, especially South Michigan, into a risk by tomorrow morning or perhaps by 12:30 p.m. on their mid-morning update.
Yeah.
We all of us on staff here kind of looked at the models. We're all kind of in agreement here. There should be a risk here in place with the amount of ingredients that are in place here. It's not a high-end risk, but there's enough to warrant some concern for sure.
Yeah, as mentioned, it's not a slam dunk risk by any means. That green on your screen, the level 2 risk, that would mean with the odds there, especially since it's a wind and tornado risk, those odds of having a wind gust in that storm are, as you can see on the side of the screen, 5 to 14% for damaging winds. So if you think about it the optimistic way, that's at best an 85 to 95% chance of not having a damaging wind. And then for tornadoes, it's like a 95% chance because the percentage there percentage there for tornadoes is a little bit different than wind and hail. So if you look at the optimistic way, it's a 95 to 98% chance that a storm, if it hits you, will not produce a tornado. So again, very low risk. Obviously, it's not zero, but got to take it somewhat seriously. And we'll always have you covered here at Michigan Storm Chasers if severe weather does hit.
Want to thank Nimrod Diaries for the $5 super chat. It says no lightning tomorrow. Playing radio with some scouts. I don't mind rain or wind, but antennas versus rain, ain't nobody having a good time. Well, stay safe out there. and don't get struck by lightning, please. That would be that'd be bad. Lightning
Yeah.
tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be excessive. They don't have a lot of storm fuel in the like. There's not an excessive amount of storm fuel, but there could be a few strikes for sure.
Couple other super chats here, Ryan, since I have them all pulled up. Not Summer, were they coming back from month number 16? She's asking the timing again. She didn't hear it.
Yeah, I can go ahead and go hour by hour with you guys here with the preset map. I don't know if I did that or not actually. So we'll back this up. We'll start right tonight. We have a couple showers up in the UP and perhaps the Thumb region, northern lower, that general region. As we push this into Saturday morning, we'll start right here 4 a.m. Saturday morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8, 9 a.m., 10, 11 a.m. Here's noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8, 9, and then 10. And as we push this into the overnight hours, here's midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. Here's Sunday morning, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and then 11. The model will stop here in a few hours at 2 p.m. And it's still raining. So it's going to be an all day, all night, all day rain throughout the overnight period into Sunday morning.
Do I dare say it? What if this was snow?
Okay. Okay. Joel can take over the stream. I'll see you guys later.
No, no, I'm no, I'm just messing. But this would be a very hefty snow event if it was, 20, 30 degrees colder. We're not there yet, but this would be quite the event if this was.
It's usually
Sorry.
me who's always with the snow shenanigans. Tonight it's Joel.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wouldn't say anything, but the fact that, we're getting like 24 hours straight of rain and it
Yeah.
has that look to it with that low pressure system passing straight over the center of the state. I mean, it's hard not to talk about it, I guess.
While we're on the topic, and since I'm the snow guy here, these systems that we're seeing, this exact type of system is very similar to what we're expecting for this winter. These systems will probably take a very similar track. It could be a split system for Michigan. It could track in the Ohio Valley. But this system, if we go back to the overall map of things, we're seeing that low pressure pull northward here in that active storm track. If you guys follow the page, I put a graphic out probably like 3 days ago, which showed this almost exact track of the low pressure as it pulls northward into Canada. That's the exact type of system we're expecting throughout the winter time frame. And with Arctic air expected to come down from Canada, this could be snow this winter. So that's kind of an early sneak peek, so to speak, of the upcoming pattern for the winter time. So we'll see. The big question here is how long are we going to stay warm? We're going to stay warm into December. Is it going to cool off? That's the big wild card here with the winter.
This is quite the interesting event. You might have noticed for those who follow us on Facebook, I put up a graphic out, I think 2 days ago, about is the low pressure system going to go to the left or is it going to turn to the right? And it turned to the left. So if you saw that on that model there, you can see the main low pressure system that was driving the showers primarily today is up there in the Hudson Bay. It's that one that's way, way up there in northern Ontario. And it basically became a split low where it produces a second low pressure system further down to the south. And that's exactly what's forming in the Mississippi Valley region, and it'll be swooping up into our area tonight. So two lows instead of one, and that is going to bring all of that rain as it kind of stalls out on Sunday. Also, real quick, Ryan, there's a couple more super chats or I guess memberships in here that I should shout out from the beginning of the stream. Got Lanai back for month number 15 as an EF0 member. Thank you very much, Lanai. Lanali. We also have Julie back for month number 17 here, one of our moderators. Thank you very much, Julie. She says MSC Facebook is only a few hundred away from 500,000 followers. If you haven't, please go like the page. Yes, absolutely. We're very, very close. So if you haven't followed us on Facebook, Michigan Storm Chasers is the page. And we got Robert M, back for month number 16 as an EF1 member saying, thank you, Joel and Ryan. No problem, Robert. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Some other newer ones got Ann W back for month number 5 as an EF0 member saying, thank you for being the best weather source. Again, no problem. Thank you as always for your support. And Diane with a $3 super sticker.
Thank you to everybody who has supported us over the course of the stream and also over the course of the past couple of years. We love what we do here. Appreciate you guys.
Mhm.
We wouldn't be able to do it without your guys' help. So
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Also, Ashley, month number 18 here at Michigan Storm Chasers, EF0 member, says, thank you for all you do to keep us safe. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Any questions? Feel free to pop them in chat here. And while you guys do that, I want to give a shout out to today's spotlight sponsor of the page here. It is Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors. Top Gun is based over in West Michigan, and they provide roofing exterior needs in the event you need roofing, siding, gutters, and even windows across West Michigan. Feel free to get a hold of Top Gun at 616 900 8033. And thank you to Top Gun for being today's spotlight sponsor here at MSC. Got Robert in here with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Robert, for that. Aurora chances tonight. Well, cloud chances are higher. And data at this point in time, maybe we'll look at it real quick.
Low.
Yeah, it's actually, looks like the satellite's offline or not reporting data. But yeah, I wouldn't expect it tonight, truthfully. Between the clouds and the data, it's going to feel humid tomorrow with dew points in the low to mid 60s. We got one of our chasers, Drew, in chat here saying that, and Drew is correct. It's going to feel, it's going to feel moist out there for October standards. Dew points in the 60s. I guess it's not rare, so to speak, but it is more uncommon this late in the season that we get dew points up into the 60s. So it will feel moist out there. Feel like a spring day. And unfortunately, yes, I see a lot of comments here about the wind and the rain. We're going to lose a lot of leaves over the next 48 hours here in the state. So enjoy that peak color while you can. It probably won't take out all the leaves, but it'll take out a good chunk. Got Gina with a $10 super chat, says this channel has been a comfort for us in severe weather. Thank you. Well, thank you. And also thank you for the kind words. Appreciate your support. Julie asks for a SPC watch party. I'm going to decline on that. I don't know if Joel wants to host that, but I got a lot of stuff to do. So I have to decline on that. I'll let him make the decision.
Probably not tonight.
How much rain will Lansing get on Sunday? Joel, I'm gonna do something real quick here. I'm gonna take the radar here. I don't know if you have your screen pulled up or not, but I did have the rain graphic and the wind graphic pulled up, and I don't know why I don't have it now. So give me 1 second. There we go. I'm good now. So this is the preset map in-house. This is our forecast. We have Lansing about 2.5 inches of rain. Now that yellow heavier swath, it could deviate slightly depending on how that load tracks precisely, but this is a general consensus here. We're looking at right around 2 or so, perhaps localized higher amounts in a large swath across central Michigan here. Over in southeast Michigan, no matter if you're in Detroit all the way up to Traverse City, we're expecting about 1 inch to as much as 2.5 inches across most, if not all, of the lower peninsula, in the UP as well, especially the eastern half in the inch zone. Further west you go, 0.2 of an inch over by the Houghton area, Ewan, and then central UP there. We're seeing right around 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. And then also for the wind side of this, that is not the way I want to go. This is the max wind gust that we had, 35 to 45 miles per hour across much of the entire state. If you're lucky up there in the very far northwest corner of the state, you are in 25 to 35, but pretty much 99% of the population in Michigan will see gusts up to 45 miles per hour max. So that is your, go ahead.
Let's say that also is going to cause some pretty large waves on all of the Great Lakes this weekend. I know we just posted on our Facebook page up to 15, 16-foot waves, I believe, on Lake Michigan, you said?
Yeah.
And then just over 10 for portions of Lake Huron and Lake Erie. Lake Superior will also get some higher waves, but not as much. This is actually a surprise, not as much as the other lakes counterpart. You can see there's your wave map.
Yeah, this is the wave map here. We're going to see as it stands right about now, we're seeing up to 8 foot waves there on Lake Michigan. This is for 2 hours in advance here, 9 p.m. tonight. As this pushes into Sunday, especially, we're seeing that increase here Sunday morning, 11 a.m. And by about 2 p.m., if we zoom way in here, if it lets me, that's a 15-foot wave marker there on Lake Michigan. 10 to 15-foot waves all across the southern part of Lake Michigan. But also take note over here in Erie, close to 10-foot waves there. Then as the afternoon turns into evening, Lake Huron also starts kicking up. Or perhaps I was wrong on that maybe before. Oh, must have updated. But Lake Huron up here did have close to 15-foot waves there on the latest or the last forecast run of this. But overall, it's going to be very, very choppy out there. I guess is the word I'm looking
Mhm.
for. Joel, we actually had a new camera installed at Harbor Beach that overlooks the pier at the lighthouse. We may have to roll that live for some wave action, perhaps
Yeah.
on Sunday afternoon. That'd be a good live stream to kind of roll.
Hmm.
Any other questions, guys? Feel free to pop them in chat. We've been live here for about a half hour. Yes, we do have a Discord. If one of the moderators could link Jeff in chat if they had not done so already, we do have a Discord that is open for the public.
It's only a matter of time. This is like the TLDR. It was only a matter of time before fall kind of caught up to us here, and it's hitting us in a big way this weekend with back-to-back low pressure systems. So
Yeah, last couple of years have not had much in the way of any fall action, so to speak. So, will Genesee see severe? So the answer to that is possibly. I do think the threat is definitely. I'm losing it tonight, Joel. I'm losing it.
it's okay.
Let me go pull it back up here. There it is. So Genesee County and anywhere around Genesee County is currently within our limited risk for severe. So it's a low end, but definitely a possibility. I think the threat is a little higher off to your south. We'll have to kind of see how it shakes out over the next couple of model runs into tomorrow morning and kind of adjust from there if need be. But for right now, it's a low end risk. So yes, pay attention, but should be a little bit higher off to your south. Got a comment in here from Penny. Snow coming before Halloween. Look what you've done, Joel.
Quite there.
Cindy asked, do you have a Southeast Michigan sponsor for tree service? Yes, we do. We do indeed. That would be, let me pull it up for you. This guy right here, McKay Tree Specialists. Feel free to screenshot that, Cindy. 248-308-7308 is the number. They cover all of Southeast Michigan from about Flint all the way down to the Ohio border. So feel free to contact McKay. They got you covered.
A good time to go through our sponsors while we have a minute.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that real quick. We do have other sponsors across the state that do help keep operations rolling, but they also provide services to you guys in the event you have storm damage or need restoration services or just need general services like security or audio video. We have a sponsor for you more than likely. So let's go ahead and start off with StormGuard over in the Metro Detroit area for roofing construction needs. We have Lifestyle Exteriors based in the Lansing Potterville area. We have Katz Roofing and Siding based in the Potterville, Lansing area. Mike Hayes Roofing and Siding, they are based up in the Thumb. McKay Tree Specialists, as we just talked about, in Southeast Michigan. We have Kuiper Tree Care over in West Michigan. FBI Buildings across all of Lower Michigan for any barndominium needs. On Top Roofing based out of Livingston County for any roofing needs you may have. Schneider Commercial Building Solutions for any commercial roofing solution needs. Shield Public Adjusters for any claim help or insurance adjusting needs. Feel free to contact Shield. Our spotlight sponsor, as we talked about, Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors, based out of West Michigan. A-Class Construction Restoration out of Mason County. Rainbow Restoration out of Kent County and surrounding areas. And we have a couple other ones here. Guardian Technology is our Skycam sponsor, as well as audio video security needs. Our communication sponsor, Rapid Radios. American Arbor for any tree service needs across southwest Michigan, down by the Indiana border. Apex Restoration out of Grand Blanc. And lastly, feel free to support the Ronald McDonald House of Detroit. All these sponsors help keep operations rocking and rolling here, and they are also here for you should you need their services. If you need to get in contact with one of our sponsors, feel free to contact them directly, or you can come to us and say, hey, I live here, I need this, what do you guys got? And we can get you in touch with the proper people. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping support operations here at MSC. I mean, I see a lot of comments now coming in about October snow. It is not unheard of. I think like 2 or 3 years ago over in Grand Rapids area, we had a foot of snow on Halloween. I don't know what year that was, but it has happened before. And with our warm lake waters, if we get enough cold air early in the season, we're gonna have lake effect snow. It's just a matter of time. So while I don't see that foreseeing that happening in October, November is a completely different story. Any other questions, guys? If not, we're gonna hop out of here pretty soon and get going with our night. But want to pop on, give you guys the update, and that's what we've done so far. So, any final questions? Feel free to pop them in chat.
I guess a little bit of news, I guess, from us at Michigan Storm Chasers. For those who haven't really followed us on our social media pages and might not know of our secondary YouTube channel, Ryan, our camera network has really blossomed over the last couple of months since severe weather coverage is kind of a daily slash weekly thing. Our secondary YouTube channel, which is for hosting those live weather cameras, is Michigan Weather Network. And you guys can go and watch those cameras for Aurora if you guys can't get out and see them yourself. Anytime there's severe weather, you can obviously check in on those as well. But again, it's those same cameras that we use and show off to you guys during our severe weather coverage that you can now watch 24/7 over there. And there is your list of some of them.
We have about 20 or so cameras live. I gotta change that when I was playing with settings earlier. I gotta change Manistee back. But no, that's very it's a growing network. It really has blossomed, as Joel said, over the past couple of months. If you guys have been kind of quiet following us over the past couple of weeks because of no severe weather, we get it. If you're watching here and you guys like our camera network, they are there for you guys to go view. So, yeah, Michigan Weather Network is the site for you guys to go to.
Mhm. Yeah, we're up to almost 70 cameras now. Is that correct?
We're going to be over 70 here by next week.
It's crazy.
We have finally, I know a lot of you guys have been kind of following the progression of it, but we've been looking for Grand Rapids camera sponsors for a while. We finally found two companies that stepped up for a total of 8 locations across Grand Rapids area. So we'll be announcing those here very soon. 3 of those just went in 2 days ago, and we have 5 going in here probably within the next 10 or 15 days. So we have a growing network, continues to grow. Scott asks, how many cameras do you want to have in the future? That is a great question. And in our opinion, we can never have enough cameras. So we'll take that at face value. We're not going to stop with this. We're going to be selective with our locations based on our current sites. So we have like a camera in Jackson that faces north. I'm not going to put another camera right down the road facing north. We'll have to plan that out accordingly, but we're not going to stop with this. Are you going to do the holiday train this year? We're going off topic here now, Joel. Yes, we'll be live for the holiday train November 22nd in the evening. You're going to see Joel and I on here giving you guys the updates and feeding you location information. We have chasers already planned to go out, so we're going to have coverage of that and let you guys know where that holiday train is at. Again, November 22nd is when that enters the U.S. from Ontario. It'll progress through Southeast Michigan into Ohio and eventually into Indiana, where our Indiana team will also live track it overnight into the early parts of the 23rd. All right. I don't see any more questions really coming in here for the severe threat for tomorrow. So we're going to wrap this stream up. Quick recap, we can do that real quick. So overall on your screen currently, that is your general severe weather outlook here. We have a limited and a low risk in effect. This is our in-house forecast graphic we make for severe weather from about Sandusky and the Thumb down through about Flint, Ovid, Lansing area, back down just south of Grand Rapids to the Indiana border. Highest risk concentrated along the 94 corridor from about Kalamazoo over to about Detroit and points southward in the green color there. Now, without flipping this map here, I can show you guys the hazards, damaging wind, and a few tornadoes possible if we have enough instability. Damaging wind risk in that green area is 5 to 14% chance. In the blue, it is 1 to 4%. And then for tornadoes, it's 1 to 4% across the board. Or sorry, no, hold on. Let me go back to this. I will have to change this. There's your severe wind, 5 to 14% chance in green, 1 to 4 in blue. And then the tornado risk is 1 to 3% in blue and 3 to 5% in the green color. So a pretty low end risk there for anything tornadic. And the hail risk, it's a very low 1 to 4% chance across southeast Michigan. The overall time frame consensus, we're going to see showers and storms ongoing, likely showers overnight into Saturday morning. And as we get towards Saturday afternoon here, we'll run this through hour by hour, starts to increase in coverage. So here is 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. We have ongoing showers across the west and northern part of the state. Here's 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. There is noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and this is where we start seeing those stronger storms begin to develop, at least be possible here. That's 2 p.m. Let's go to 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8, 9, 10. A bit of a break, and then heavier rain arrives overnight into the early part of Sunday morning. Here comes the heavy rain. This is 1 a.m. in the morning now, Sunday morning, 2 a.m., 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, noon, 1, and then 2. The model ends here with ongoing rain still in Sunday afternoon. So a very soaking rain expected here. Forecast model does show a widespread swath of 1 to 2 plus inches on some spots. So if you live in lower Michigan, you're pretty much going to get an inch or so or more of rain out of this system. So that is the expectation. Winds will start Saturday afternoon, 20, 25 miles per hour out of the southwest. By Sunday morning to afternoon, we're going to see that change from southwest to the northwest, and it's going to pick up and gust up to 45 miles per hour during Sunday afternoon. With that said, that is your expectation. Main time frame for severe weather is between, we're going to say noon-ish to about 8 p.m. in the evening on Saturday, but we could see an isolated stronger gust or two earlier or later than that. So do stay tuned in throughout the remainder of this system. Anything else I missed?
Nope.
Perfect. I like to hear it. All right. One last question. Check in chat. I do not see any. With that said, any final words, Joel, before we roll the outro?
We're all good.
All right, cool. If need be, you're going to see Joel, perhaps myself, on here tomorrow for coverage of severe weather. In the meantime, you guys enjoy your evening and stay tuned to the page. We'll be posting updates as we have new information to push out to you guys. Enjoy your evening, guys. We'll catch you hopefully not tomorrow, but if we have to, we'll catch you tomorrow.
Hey, everybody.